Good morning, guys. Welcome to another fabulous episode, guys, of Exit Strategy Radio Show. I'm your host. Yeah, that's me, Colin J. Millett, broker known of Exit Realty, local in beautiful North Charleston, South Carolina. Whew, take a breath. Hey, we're having a great time today. So look, I always, we always like our money, right? So we have managed to do something spectacular, and we have increased our money exponentially. Y'all know her. Y'all love her. We got LaShan Abraham, LaShan Supermoney. That's her, Supermoney, with us today with Guild Mortgage. LaShan, how you doing today?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me.
You're quite welcome. Quite welcome. Thank you so much for being a loyal member of the family. We've had you on a number of times over the years. We really appreciate it. Always have a great time talking about, what's going on from the financing standpoint in the real estate market, not just focus on solely one particular area, but just in general, because that's what you do. Yeah. So for our listeners, guys, look, I need y'all to hold tight. I need y'all to listen. I need y'all, most importantly, to comprehend the discussion that we're having today, because to be very frank and direct about it, it's extremely important because y'all need to know what's going on. So, LaShan, look, you ain't no rookie to this. You've been doing this. So, look, I need you, first of all, to kind of just jump right in here. Tell us a little bit about you, kind of reminder for those who haven't heard of Supermoney. And from there, we're going to jump straight into what's going on and what people need to know about financing today.
Okay, good. So once again, I am LaShan Abraham. I'm a mortgage loan officer currently now with Guild Mortgage. I really used to say I'm the sales manager now, and I use that title too often.
Wait a minute. My eyes just jumped. Congratulations.
Thank
Y'all
you.
heard it first.
So I'm located in Summerville, South Carolina. I've been now in the mortgage industry 10 years now, originating for 6. And I love what I do. I mean, learning about financing, educating people about what's going on in the mortgage real estate world is always near and dear to my heart. So to answer the second part of your question, right now, I mean, to be honest, it's a little tough right now. And in order to be truly what I consider mortgage ready or home buying ready right now, it's just making sure you have your finances in order. Make sure you have savings. I'm going to tell you about some programs, but you're still going to need savings right now. That's going to be super important right now.
Awesome. So, I was, I joked a little earlier this week with an agent that called me from a company calling me about a contract or what have you. And I missed a call because I was away from my desk. My phone was on my desk. And, people are shocked, like, you don't carry your phone like everywhere. And I'm like, no, if I did, I would never be off of it. It's a constant, right? So I walked away from my desk, missed a call. I came back, I got a message, returned the call. And I was like, well, look, I was talking to one of my agents from the ledge, because I mean, literally in this climate, in this market, agents are, to be frank, for the consumers, your agent is freaking out.
Yeah.
All right. They're really freaking out. People think that from our perspective that it's easy or what they see on social media and stuff, but that is not the case. Your agent is freaking out because they're advising you and should be advising you on what to do to try to accomplish your goal. And if it doesn't work, the agent, if they really care, then they are personally upset about it. They feel like they're letting you down, and it's emotional for agents. I mean, agents really and truly now need to be seeing somebody in this market, like for real, seeing somebody. But notwithstanding, obviously, there's a lot of things going on. A lot of the conversation we've been having lately, LaShan, has been hovering around rates. So interest rates have begun to increase, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what does that mean for the consumer? I'm seeing more houses hit the market, but houses are still going fast. But what does that mean for a consumer as rates increase?
To me, my favorite word is mindset. So for the consumer, it's really, really understanding and getting your mindset wrapped around when rates are rising, the effect that it's going to have on the buyer is your mortgage payment. You're going to pay higher. So a lot of people have kind of preset numbers in their mind in these, $1,000 very low payments. And unfortunately, just where the rates are and where the house prices are, $1,000, $1,200, even $1,300 nowadays is very, very slim to come by. And so it's hard for people to really wrap their mind around or budget to really afford something in that space. That's above that price point.
That is very true. That's very true. Oftentimes people are very, again, conscious about the payment, which they should be. They should be focused on what's affordable to you, and then in turn, making a decision from there. But everything is going up. Rental prices, rental rates, and all that stuff are on par or higher, if you will, than what most times people can purchase a home for.
Yeah.
You just have to make some concession on the home sometimes. So you talked about, and you kind of touched on early programs and stuff that you guys do. So let's start talking about some of those. People need to understand that, loan is not a loan. It's a program, or I say a program, but this particular loan option, they differ person to person. There's no quote unquote one size fits all, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And I like how you put that program, because the loan type stays the same, but it's the program. So another thing I just like to caution people that programs change, but programs come and go as well. But right now we are going to talk about the newest program that got released on Monday, May 2nd, which is Palmetto Heroes. So that is now officially out.
Okay. All right. So let's get into that. So Palmetto Heroes is what?
South Carolina Housing, which is a housing counseling agency and nonprofit, they offer down payment assistance. So this particular program is down payment assistance for a specific category of individuals, which are heroes. So that's kind of all your first responders, your nurses, teachers, law enforcement officers, veterans, and active duty military.
Okay.
So this year they're doing, each year they kind of change the program to kind of fit the needs of what's going on with the real estate market. So this year it's $10,000 that they're doing. The rate as of now is 4.5%, but they did say that it's subject to change. So right now, a 4.5% rate is great compared to the standard rates right now. It is first come, first serve. So you do have to be pre-approved under contract in order to even reserve that money. So that's going to be a key player in that. A lot of people want it, but if you aren't under contract to buy a house, we can't reserve it for you right now. So definitely making sure you get pre-approved and start shopping to lock something in.
So I'm over here making notes. So you see me turning my head, our listeners or watchers, viewers, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, guys, I'm turning my head for a particular reason. Because I'm over here like, okay, wait a minute, let me get that. I got this. So, question I want to ask, obviously, state housing, that program, Palmetto Heroes typically has like a modesty component to it, like home price and all that stuff. So what are the loan limits or the purchase price limits?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So they just increased their home price limit this year to $350,000 is the max you can do. I know some people are like, oh, wow, that's it. But that's better than what it was. It used to be right at 300 and slowly at 325. So right now it's at 350. Max income, it kind of varies depending on the county that a person is purchasing in. But on average, it's about, for 1 to 2 people, it's somewhere around $75,000, $80,000. For like higher price counties like Dorchester and Berkeley County, household can make up to like $115,000 on that in those particular counties. So I also like to clarify. So it is household income. What that means is that it's not just the person that's applying, but it's everyone that's in that house. And I always like to caution people, because South Carolina Housing, they collect a lot of information to make sure that you're truly eligible to do these programs. So they will collect your tax returns for the last 3 years. So those dependents that you claim, they're going to consider them in your household, and they're going to take into consideration any income that they receive. And it can't go over that particular amount.
Okay. Wow. So I'm going to take this moment right here to do a shameless plug, because along with the state housing program, if you qualify for state housing through those particular those groups. And guys, look, if you're listening, watching this, understand, this is a workforce housing program is what it is. This is designed to assist people in the workforce to achieve the dream goal of home ownership. There's a lot of programs like this, and that's something that, here on this call of this show today, we specialize in. workforce housing. We want to help people in the workforce achieve home ownership. That's
Yeah.
cool. So our company on my side, Sean, we are a Home for Heroes affiliate. So we do that program. So you're talking about, okay, down payment assistance. So you got 10 grand of down payment assistance. Somebody can purchase a house up to $350,000 and then get $10,000 helps them towards the down payment. If the program type they're doing requires a down payment, they can use towards closing costs, etc. But we, on the back end of that, we give a rebate to the buyer. So our rebate, based upon just kind of calculations, but our rebate is a little bit over $2,500 that they would get back after closing from us. So, if you're listening, watching, y'all need to call LaShan.
Yeah.
Y'all need to reach out immediately. So LaShan, look, pop your contact information right here for our listeners, our viewers. Where can people reach you at?
I can be reached on phone number wise. I can reach at 843-303-8652. I do have Instagram. You can follow me at l.abraham mortgage lady, and also look me up on Facebook as well, LaShan Abraham.
Awesome. I really appreciate that. So getting back to this, so you said our categories for Environmental Heroes this year: military, obviously active and retired, correct? Mm-hmm. Law enforcement, so our police officers. You guys do a heck of a job out there if you're listening or watching out there in these streets, because it is interesting out there. We can't use certain words like we used to anymore, but, look, if I went back about 20 years ago and was sitting down talking to my great-grandparents, that's who raised me, and was talking to them, look, they probably use some words, explicit expletives and others right now that people be like, So, but, it's interesting out there. So we're also talking about our healthcare workers, so EMS, EMT, firefighters,
paramedics,
nurses, all paramedics, nurses, teachers. Oh, Lord, what the teachers go through right now.
Yes.
Ooh, look here. I know because I send my son to school, so I know. So those kind of things are, those people, are deserving of creative programs to assist them. Because oftentimes a teacher, can't afford to live in the area that they serve. The law enforcement, police officer can't afford to live. Firefighter can't afford to live. Be surprised how many people have to travel in to get to work, if you will, wherever that may be. So, LaShan, look, right here, we're going to stick a quick pause for our listeners, guys. You know what it is. We're going to take a break, quote unquote. This is where we can pay the bills. We're going to put some commercials and stuff in here for you. So we want you to grab that syrup out the cabinet. And I always tell you, if y'all mama got some of that cane patch, holla at your boy. Because
I can't even find it no more. Where is it?
Anymore, right? Guys, we're going to take a quick pause right here, take a breath, and we'll be right back. Thank y'all so much for listening to Exit Strategy Radio Show. We'll be right back.
Congratulations to Exit Realty's Low Country Group Realtor of the Week, Althea Barr. You can reach Althea at 843-259-7501. Or you can text Althea, that's ALTHEA, to 85377 to receive her contact information. Y'all give Althea a shout.
Guys, we are back. Second segment, Exit Strategies Radio Show. Hey, I'm your host, Colin J. Millett, broker and owner of Exit Realty, Low Country Group in Beauty. Working on that, North Charleston, South Carolina. Hey, we having a great time over here. We have got none other than Supermoney. Supermoney, exponential. Look here. She makes it happen. Look here. This right here is real. This is a real conversation today, guys. So with us, LaShan Abraham, Gill Mortgage, talking about loan options, loan programs. And we don't talk about an interest rate, so we ain't going to go back about that. We don't tell you about that, so y'all don't know. And y'all don't know that, so now y'all got to act on what y'all noted so we can get done what we got supposed to get done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm talking like get y'all to understand that. But LaShan, so State Housing, again, came out with Relief Environmental Heroes, which is a fabulous program. And for our listeners, go back and catch the first part, get to the website, exitstrategyradioshow.com, guys, and catch that segment if you missed it. But we talked about how much of a house you can purchase, all that stuff. Gave out LaShan's information, which we'll do again. But LaShan, what other programs you guys are offering and doing right now that are effective in this market? This is a competitive market out here.
Still. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I know you said we wasn't going to talk about interest rates, but we do offer now something called Lock and Shop. So
Okay.
what that allows you to do is while you're, after you're pre-approved, and sometimes it may take you a little second to find a house,
Hmm.
but you may be worried that the rates are going to increase while
Hmm.
you're, trying to find your house. We do now offer you the option to lock in your interest rate while you're still shopping for a mortgage. You can do it up to 90 days. There is a small fee that you have to pay to lock it in, like to hold that rate for you, but we give that money back to you to use towards your closing costs.
Okay.
And then you also get one like float down option. So in case the rates go down, you can, go down to a lower rate if the rates change. So that program has been very, very, very helpful to a lot of people who are rate conscious right now. And they want to make sure that they, once they're pre-approved, they kind of stay pre-approved and not get kind of, their price be adjusted or their amount be adjusted because rates have changed. So that has been very helpful.
That's huge. I just, recently had a conversation where in a new homes community, the sales agent had lost a number of contracts, because rate fluctuates, the rate changes. And now those buyers didn't qualify to make those purchases. So, for those listeners who are looking at, considering, thinking about, hey, what do I need to do? This is a great program. Protect yourself because, again, as rates fluctuate. And LaShan, I've seen, kind of been telling our agents, realistically from what I've seen in closing statements and stuff, I'm seeing swings, lately anywhere from a half point to 3/4 of a point, seemingly between some of the statements that I've seen. Is that kind of
as far as like the rates, like the increase in rates, they're higher than that. I have people that I pre-approved back in like January and their rates were maybe in the high threes and rates are now in the fives. They have jumped in the last couple of months.
Oh, that's painful. I had to sit back in my chair if y'all watching me, because that hurts a little bit. With that change, it impacts your buying power.
It does. It does. It does a lot. And it's very unfortunate. So what I try to do is make sure I over communicate to both the borrower, the buyer, and the realtor as well, keeping you guys in the loop that, hey, this is subject to change, just depending on how long it takes someone to find a house. And unfortunately, we don't have a, magic crystal ball to say that you're going to find a house in this particular amount of time. So just really depending. So I urge everyone, if you want to buy a house, do it now because, the cost to wait is sometimes can be not in your favor.
One of the things that, from the real estate standpoint, I'm getting this and having this conversation. So I'll bring this conversation to you as well. Everybody seems to remember, and Kevin Chisholm and I had a, interview several weeks ago, and that conversation, we jokingly referenced, I think, the Jasmine Sullivan song, I've heard it all before, because we've been doing this, right? But we understand that this time is different. So I'm going to bring this conversation to you because a lot of people seem to believe that, the market's going to crash. And what we're seeing is there isn't an indication of that. There's always shifts that take place.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, kind of expound and give your opinion, on the lending side, what do you think is happening and going to happen in our local market?
Yeah, and that's crazy that you say that. I just had a conversation with a realtor earlier this morning because she asked me the same question, like, what's your opinion about this market? So I told her, I was like, I do remember even when I bought my first house back in 2011, my rate was 4.25. That was standard then. I said, but the difference was the house price was like $150,000. So now that the rates are higher and the house prices are higher, that's where we're having the biggest conflict. I don't foresee that they're just going to drop people's value on their home. We can't afford to do that. So I definitely don't see that happening. All of the statistics and reports and stuff like that we get, they do kind of show that maybe sometime this year, rates are still going to tick up just a tad. But then next year, depending if we continue on this train, they're supposed to, potentially go back down as well. Just really depending on how well the economy performs. I think and truly believe, in my opinion, that, real estate is going to always be here. People are going to need a place to stay. People are going to always buy and sell. And so I don't ever foresee that going away. So it's just, once again, mindset and making adjustments. So the smarter you are, the more that you educate yourself on what's going on, you can position yourself accordingly to kind of perform in this type of market, whether you're buying or selling, or if you're a realtor or a lender like myself.
Interesting. Another conversation we're having, we see a lot of quote unquote investor buyers, iBuyers, or people that buy quote unquote sight unseen, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And funny, I was having this conversation. I'm actually this week in if it wasn't a mastermind call, it was, a regional call or something. It was something regional related. But long story short, an agent was sharing that in Charlotte market, that roughly 35-40% of the sales that are happening in that market are investor buyers, are iBuyers. They're buying cash. There are these hedge funds and other groups that accumulate real estate holdings, and that's becoming more prevalent in most major metros, Charleston, Columbia, Charlotte, other markets, such as that. And it makes it so that the traditional buyer, so the buyer that you do a loan for, are extremely challenged in trying to compete. A cash offer, one of our team, just recently got an offer, 15, I think it was 15, about 15,000 over asking, which equates to, if I'm not mistaken, it was well over asking. I mean, significant. So about 3 to 5%, I believe it was, over asking price. A cash offer like that, that's extremely difficult for any other buyer that's financed to compete with.
Yeah.
So are you seeing, that happen to the buyers that you have qualified, that you're working with, or they're challenged?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I would say anybody who's kind of in that price point of 300, I would even say 350 or less right now. Yeah, that is extremely a challenge in that price point. And it's very unfortunate. What we're trying to do on the lending side for the investors that finance our loans is, unless in order for an investor to really take advantage of the market that way, they have to have cash to do so. Because from the loan side, they're trying to make it a little bit more difficult to get a loan for investors. So they're marking up the margins on those loans where the rates are higher, the points and fees that they pay are higher, to kind of not attract them to try to get financing for like investment type properties. So we're trying to, hold them a little steady that way. But if they have the cash or the capital, I have definitely seen anybody in that price point really make it's definitely a little bit more challenging to compete with that. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I know a lot of things are happening, quote unquote, in that space. I'm trying to make it more competitive. And this conversation for our listeners and what have you guys, this isn't a conversation against investors. We're just trying to figure out where the opportunity still presents or is available to the traditional buyer, the person who wants to buy a home and, start a family, or the person that wants to, retire and downsize, it's extremely competitive. They're challenged to try to find a home that they can age out in, as well as a home that they can, quote unquote, start their life in. So, we're trying to figure out where that sweet spot, if you will, is, and what people need to do so they can in turn capitalize on it and not feel that, quote unquote, everything is framed or otherwise is against them, because it's extremely difficult in the current climate. We recently had a seller that refused to sell to an investor. They were adamant that the home be sold to someone who was going to occupy it, because they had a strong sense of community and they wanted to foster that. But not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah, but you saying that, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, well, maybe there should be some type of, more education to sellers, like from the realtor side, that are going to list their properties, just really kind of explaining to them what's going on. Because, some people, you can't change their mind. Some people, are in it for the money. They want to make as much as they can and make it quickly. But then you do have some of those people that still, that human side of them, that, that heartfelt piece, that want to help another family get in a home. So maybe there should just be more talking points between, that realtor and the seller that's going to sell their house.
Yeah, exactly. So LaShan, if you don't mind, give our listeners your contact information again. Where can people get you? Where can people reach you when they need some of this super money?
Yeah. So once again, phone is always great. 843-303-8652. I tell people, leave a message or text. When you call me, please leave a message or text me and I'll definitely call you back. Email is labraham@gilmortgage, or you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook.
Awesome. So LaShan, before we go, if you had to tell our listeners like one thing or thing that you could share that they need to know today, what would that be?
I would say my advice or the thing I would tell people is don't let pride stop you from buying a house. A lot of clients that I run into, especially like, the either the single moms or that single individual that's trying to buy, they want to do it on their own for their own sense of pride. And so they don't want to necessarily ask a family member or something like that for help, whether that's in the form of a gift or whether that's in the form of, hey, I need you to, co-sign on this loan for me so that I can afford something in this market, because it's going to be very tough right now. And what I'm seeing the most is that people that is in that, low to moderate income category, those are the ones that's getting pushed out the market right now. And so the ones that are winning are either your, middle class or a little bit more affluent clients, or people who have a lot of cash because either just sold a house or ran into some money that they can really compete. And so two is better than one. We were meant to all do life together in some shape, form, or fashion. So don't be afraid to, if we got to, pool together to make that home ownership dream capable and possible, like definitely do that. Don't try to take on this feat by yourself.
Awesome. I appreciate that. So for our listeners, guys, y'all need to give LaShan a holler. LaShan, thank you so much for being a part of the Exit Strategy Radio Show family, for being on the show today. We appreciate you. We love you. And y'all know that. I'm going to tell you that in a minute. But I really appreciate you coming in and sharing that with our folks. So for our listeners, guys, hey, as we wrap up today's show, we want you not only to listen. We want you to do more, quote unquote, than just listen. We want you to hear what is said. We want you to apply what is said so you can change not only your life, but the life of your family. That's what this thing is about. Our show here is based upon the book of Exodus. And we believe that people have to move. That's what we do. We move people. It's about the journey. It's about the destination. But most importantly, it is about you and the process in between. That's what we want to make sure that we focus on. That's what we want to make sure that we help you with. And most importantly, that's the impact that we want to have on you. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in, watching, viewing. As we always say, we love you. We love you. We love you. And we're going to see you guys out there in them streets.